Hello everybody, going to be giving you my thoughts on this week's Monday Night Raw, so I'll get straight into this video. This week's Raw, 27th of June. Gotta say, WWE have really been hotting up Raw over the past couple of weeks. I thought last week's Raw was a really good one, and I think they definitely continued it this week's Raw. WWE kind of made it like a first time ever type of Raw. You know, we had a lot of first time ever type of matches, which I thought was a really good idea. Some really good matches that went on. Kicked off the show with the Authority announcing that SummerSlam will be a 4-hour show. I like the sound of that. I think SummerSlam's always been like the second WrestleMania of the year. You know, SummerSlam is WWE's like second biggest event. So I think having SummerSlam as a 4-hour event this year is a good idea. So yeah, it should be good. Hopefully that means, you know, more matches, and maybe WWE've got something special planned for the show that we're not too sure about. Maybe a big segment. Obviously there is a lot of talk about Sting being involved, so yeah, definitely SummerSlam's hotting up to be an incredible event. So yeah. The Authority kicked off the show, and then it was announced later on that Seth Rollins would take on John Cena for the United States Championship, and that was the main event. I really enjoyed the Divas Revolution continuing this week. We had Paige versus Sasha Banks in a great match. I really enjoyed this contest between these two. I'm a big fan of both of these two, and they're great. Having Sasha beat Paige and making her tap out for the second week in a row was a very good move there. I like that. I mean, Paige, it's almost like Paige has really met her competition now, because obviously I felt that AJ Lee and Paige were the type who were going to have some great rivalries over the years, but obviously with AJ Lee leaving WWE, kind of Paige needed to find that other person, and I think Sasha Banks could be that one. So I expect definitely definitely another match between these two in the future. So a very good match between the two. I really enjoyed that. And then we also had Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. This was a good match. This is where Becky Lynch got her moment on Raw. Obviously Charlotte's had her moment now, and so has Paige, and so has Sasha. So it was kind of right for Becky Lynch to get the win here, and she made Alicia Fox tap out. So that was another good Divas match. And like I'm saying, I'm loving the Divas Revolution. I'm loving everything that WWE's doing with it at the moment. I think it's great. I'm just keep it up without a doubt. It is brilliant stuff. Dean Ambrose faced the Big Show in a pretty good match. Big Show won the match, but he won it by count out. It really showed like a never give up side of Dean Ambrose. Big Show gave everything he had to Dean Ambrose, and in the end, Ambrose got caught when he went for a suicide dive outside the ring as Big Show hit him with the knockout punch, and Ambrose wasn't able to make the 10 count back in the ring. But after the match, Big Show went for a spear to Ambrose for the barricade, security wall, but Ambrose was able to move out of the way and kind of just push Big Show through. So Ambrose was left standing. So having Ambrose lose here, but by count out, I still think this kind of made Ambrose look good. It showed his kind of like a, never give up side of Ambrose, and then a sneaky side at the end. So probably an Ambrose Big Show rivalry is something we're going to see probably at SummerSlam. Then we had, I really enjoyed Los Matadores versus the Lucha Dragons. I thought that was a good match, good tag team match. They gave that quite a good bit of time. That was a good match. Lucha Dragons won that one there after New Day came out and distracted Los Matadores. Then we also had Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in a pretty good match. It did end by disqualification after Sheamus got involved in it, a bro kick on Randy, but it was still a good match up until then. There has been, obviously there's been a lot of talks about Kevin Owens being dropped in the main event scene now, which I haven't got a problem with, as long as they keep Owens relevant. They don't suddenly, in a few months' time have him losing in 2-minute squash matches. I don't want to be seeing that. They've got a great thing going with Kevin Owens, keep it up. But a Kevin Owens Cesaro match rivalry to me sounds good. I mean, they could easily steal the show at SummerSlam. Put them two in a 15-minute match, boom, they could do it. They really could steal the show. So for me, I've got a problem with Owens, not being in the main event picture, not facing Cena again, as long as they keep Owens in a good position, which I think they are going to, sounds good to me. And by the looks of it, Orton and Sheamus, their rivalry is continuing, which to me is good as well. I've always been a fan of them too. I've always felt they've had some pretty good matches in the past. I think their match at Battleground is probably one of the best, if not the best, they've had against each other. So probably another match between them two at SummerSlam sounds good to me. And then we had the main event, which was Seth Rollins versus John Cena for the United States Championship. And I think the one thing everyone's talking about this match is that John Cena is one tough son of a bitch. Quote JBL there. Yeah, of course, about 3/4 into the match, Rollins delivered some high knee onto Cena, and it's busted Cena's nose open, and Cena actually broke his nose in this match. You can see just towards the end of the match, as the camera angle was going on Cena, when Cena was on the top turnbuckle, his nose was really kind of like halfway to the left or the right side, and there's been some pictures on WWE.com and their Instagram page, and yeah, Cena's nose definitely is broken, but I'm not, I'm not the biggest Cena fan, but I give credit to him here. He really pulled through and put on a great match here, and yeah, he's one tough guy. It was a great match there against Rollins. It really was a very good match. Definitely we're going to see Cena Rollins at SummerSlam, I assume. I probably can't see Cena competing for maybe a couple of weeks due to his nose, but I'm pretty sure that he will try his best, and WWE will try their best to get Cena for SummerSlam. So a Cena Rollins match at SummerSlam sounds good to me. I'm not really sure what my prediction is going to be for that match yet, but I will get around to that nearer the time. I'm hoping that Rollins will win. Hoping. But yeah, we didn't have anything to do with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar this week on Raw, which to me wasn't a bad thing. We didn't even have Paul Heyman, but to me it kind of let the rest of the other rivalries build up. So obviously you had, got time for like tag team matches as well. The Diva Revolution got to continue, and we had a really good match in Owens and Orton and Cena Rollins. So I think having Undertaker and Lesnar kind of after last week's epic brawl they had, kind of leaving it for a week was a pretty good idea, I think actually. So. But Lesnar is confirmed for next week's Raw. I'm not sure about The Undertaker. We'll have to see about that one. But things should hot up next week. So yeah. Just thought I'd let you guys know what I thought of this week's Raw. I thought it was a really good one. I think WWE, like I said, is really doing well at the moment with their Raws. And I think even SmackDown last week was a pretty good show too. So yeah. Cheers guys for watching. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.